3. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to Author Spotlight, where we get to know the author and support the author. Today, we have Celestial Holmes. Celestial Holmes, known by the pseudonym Mbinguni, is a renowned author and multifaceted professional with a background in computer programming and 15 years of experience as an instructional designer. Celestial has seamlessly transitioned into the realm of writing under the banner of New Reads Publications. Her debut novel, Looking for Hope, captivated readers worldwide and has earned a 5-star rating on Amazon and Goodreads. Celestial's talent and dedication have been acknowledged through prestigious fellowships, including the 2022 Hurston Wright Screenwriting Fellowship and the 2023 Kim Bilio Fellowship. In addition to her writing career, Celestial Holmes serves as the direct response copywriter, leveraging her skills to craft compelling narratives. She is also a freelance writer and celebrity interviewer for blackgirlnerds.com, where she shares her unique perspectives on diverse topics. Furthermore, Celestial is widely recognized as a co-host on the immensely popular Watch Them Thrones podcast, affiliated with the esteemed platform Black with No Chaser. Driven by a thirst for knowledge and adventure, Celestial pursues various hobbies, including archery, horseback riding, and scuba diving. Born and raised in Fernandina, Beach, Florida, she attributes her passion for storytelling to her grandparents, whose love for reading, film, and television inspired her from an early age. I want to welcome you, Celestial Holmes, as we learn more about your book. And let me tell you one thing.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to take a note from you when it comes to those hobbies. Those are some amazing hobbies that you do. Let's first start off by you introducing us to the name of your book and giving us a summary of it.
Okay. So my debut novel is titled Looking for Hope, and that's again written under my pseudonym Mbinguni that starts with an M. And it's a coming of age tale. The main character, Hannah Mouse Maynard, is 7.5 when the book begins. And there is this tragic event that is the catalyst for an adventure of sorts for she and her father. And she meets a lot of interesting characters along the way. But it's all about her finding herself and learning that tragedy doesn't have to define you, and that you can still come out of that as a whole person. So that's for the book.
Yeah, I love that you actually was able to create a story that hit some of these important just some of these important things that happen, or events that can happen in our life, and how you can turn that around. What was some of your what was the purpose behind writing it? What was it that actually got you on this track to writing this book?
So I've always been a writer. As far back as I can remember, I can go right here in my little cabinet by my desk, and I have stories that I've written all the way back to 6th grade. So writing has always been a part of who I am. But this story would not turn me loose. Like a lot of stories, I always have story ideas. My brain just kind of, something will happen. I'm like, ooh, that's a good story. This, I'll think of things. But this particular one, the character stuck with me, and I actually saw her. Like I visualized her, and I was like, whoa. And I could tell from her clothing. This is Looking for Hope is historical fiction. So when the book begins, it is set in the late 1950s in a fictitious town in Georgia. So I saw her clothing, and I knew what era she was from. And then some of the other characters started to appear. So in terms of like why did I write it? Writing is just a part of who I am. Even in my career choices, it has always had something to do with writing. I spent 15 years as an instructional designer. So that part to me wasn't a choice. The part that was a choice was making the decision to pursue it and make sure that I saw it to fruition and completion. I mean, it took me a very long time to do that. And that was primarily because of the new coin that's been termed imposter syndrome, not feeling like who wants to read this book, like I'm not good enough as an author, all of those things because I didn't go to school for writing. So,
Wow. So you didn't go to school for writing,
oh,
but you're writing these amazing stories.
well, thank you.
That is amazing. That's amazing because you're gifted. You know how God gives certain people with certain things that you don't have to go to school for. It's just naturally there, right from the beginning. And to have that talent, and bring your creativity into it, also with your design skills,
Mhm.
it just all looks like it just flows. It just
It
flows
did.
together.
And that's what I had to that was one of the things that helped me get over the imposter syndrome was kind of looking back and number one recognizing my um earliest parts of me that really fell in love with reading and writing. It was because it was about storytelling. I love any form of storytelling that's well done. And that's my grandmother used to have me watching old black and white movies, and my grandfather could not read or write, but he used to tell stories. He would tell this story about going in the woods to trap a raccoon and how he had to fight with this raccoon. Like he was a storyteller. So it's always been all around me, and I was very in love with books. I was my grandparents raised me, and I was the only child in the house, so reading was my escape. That was my play. I had friends up the street, but when we couldn't play or whatever the case may be, I was in a book somewhere. So I've just always been in love with storytelling, and to look back and kind of see the how the path was plotted, it helped with feeling like, okay, well, while I may not feel worthy, obviously this is where I'm supposed to be. So I got
I
to do
love that. I love that. Tell us what type of feedback you've gotten from this book so far.
it. Crazy enough, everybody, I did that because it was just so the path getting there. So the first thing I would say was I asked my family has a book club, and I read a book and I invited the author to participate via Zoom. And this was Suzette D. Harrison, and you can find her blurb about my book on the back cover. And I reached out to her for the book club, and she had such a warm, inviting spirit. And I loved her book so much. I was moved to ask her to be my mentor. And I didn't have any writing mentors up until this point. And she was like, absolutely, send me, what you have, and I'll take a look and I'll let you know. And she read it and she encouraged me. She was like, this story really needs to be told. She's like, Mouse's story has to be told. And she encouraged me and gave me a lot of tips. We are still friends to this day and keep in contact. And then I got a second mentor, Tina McElroy Ansa. And it was kind of just we were at a book fest because we were all there in Savannah at the Savannah Book Fest to see Tayari because her book American Marriage had just dropped. And fun fact, that character in that book is actually named after me. Like, I'm not joking. Celestial is named after me. But we had gone to see that to see her speak about her book, and Miss Tina was there. I affectionately call her Auntie Tina. And my aunt said to her, oh, my niece is working on a book. I'd love for you to chat with her. And she looked at me and she asked me, so you're writing? I said, yes, ma'am. And she launched into this prayer, and it kind of touched on everything I was struggling with. And I'm a bag of water anyway. So I just started crying. And she said, well, send me your work. I don't work with everybody. Send me your work and I'll see. And so she read the first chapter and she was like, absolutely. And we started working together. And so that was how I really got through. And the book received an amazingly great response. It was unveiled at a book club again because I use a pseudonym. It was over 50 women. Most of them, many of them had known me since I was born or either a small child. None of them knew I wrote the book, including my mother. And my aunt and I surprised them all. They read the book, gave feedback, shared how much they loved the book, and then at the end, she announced I was really the author, and they lost it. The room went crazy. So it's been an amazing experience for a debut novel. I'm very blessed.
Wow, that was definitely a way to debut your your book. And I know there was so much excitement in the room just knowing that you were the author and that the amazing work that was presented before them. So great job. Wow, that's amazing. I love that. And I love that you use a pseudonym, you know, a different name. I know sometimes you see authors using different names just depending on what type of books they're writing. So it's good to kind of understand why, you know, you would use that. And, you know, I just love the way that you are able to come up with like the characters and you're able to visually see things. So if it's anyone out there that has that gift, you know, don't let it fall by the wayside. You can actually use it to your advantage in writing the book.
You can. You
So,
absolutely.
who is the audience for this book? Who are you marketing this book to?
Well, I do believe anyone over the age, I would say probably about 16 or so, can read it, but I write for Black people. If others choose to enjoy it, great, they are welcome. But my heart is definitely turned toward Black people. I really find it important for us to make sure we are telling our stories, that they come from authentic places, and that they represent the myriad of experiences that we have. That it's not, we're not a monolith, and I don't think that should be reflected in our stories. I think that we have a ton of thousands of stories to share, and I want to do my part in making sure that they're told with love and light, and considering our experiences here and abroad. So.
I love that. Okay, so how can we get a copy of your book?
So it's for sale on Amazon, or if you would like to physically go to a bookstore, it is available at Barnes and Nobles and all those wonderful places. While they may not have it in the store, you can request it. But the main place would be Amazon.
Okay, great. So you all, you know what to do. You go to Amazon. So what are some of your upcoming projects that you would like to talk about?
Well, I'm in the throes of working on my second book, and I'm fighting a little bit with what that is. There is a character from Looking for Hope that has basically told me she needs her own book. So I have started working on that, but I'm also working on another book that I think may actually be coming out next versus the prequel to Looking for Hope.
Okay, we're excited. We're excited for your upcoming projects to see exactly how that next character morphs into this second book and then also your other book. So that's going to be amazing. How can we contact you if we want to get in contact with you about your book or just want to say, hey, we love, you know, what you wrote?
Okay. You can visit my website, which is www.Mbinguni, which is spelled Mbinguni.life. My email is the same, benguni.life@gmail. And all my social media handles are benguni.life. So you can find me on all of those places. Please reach out. I love to attend book clubs and speak with book clubs. That's one of my favorite things to do. And definitely, if you read the book, please leave a rating on Amazon or Goodreads or wherever you review books. That would be great.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to thank you, Celestial, for being a part of Author Spotlight. We really appreciate hearing about your book and what went into actually bringing it into reality. So thank you for that. And I want to thank everyone else out there who tuned in tonight to Author Spotlight. And you know what we do here at Author Spotlight? We support the author by going out and purchasing their book and then giving them your feedback on what you liked about it. So, again, thank you, Celestial,
Thank
for
you for
being a part of Author Spotlight. And everyone, until next time, bye.
having me.